Now I'm going to show you the alternating cable cast on. So you start with a stitch on your needle, and I use a slip knot. And we're going to actually knit the first stitch, because that seems to be easiest, is to knit the first stitch. And now what you do depends on your ribbing pattern that you are casting on for. So for example, the sock that I designed for February's Black Sheep Hoppy Feet uses a purl 1, knit 2, purl 1, repeat. So we're going to treat that first stitch as a purl, even though we know it's a slip knot. We've knit the second stitch, so now we have to knit the third stitch. But instead of knitting into our first stitch, we're actually going to go between the stitches and grab the working yarn and put it on as a knit stitch. And then, since we know we need a purl for our fourth stitch, we're actually going to move the yarn to the front, and we're going to purl between those two stitches and cast it onto the needle. So once again, our repeat is going to be purl 1, knit 2, purl 1. So we treated our slip stitch as a purl 1. We have 2 knit stitches. Now we have another purl stitch. So that means, according to our pattern, we should have another purl stitch coming. So just going to slide between the 2 stitches, purl over the needle, and cast it on, and then repeat our pattern. So now we need a knit stitch and another knit stitch, almost. There we go. And finally a purl stitch. And as you can see, it's easier to tighten those stitches down after you've done the stitch following, because when I made them too tight, I had trouble getting my needle through. That is the alternating cable cast on, and though it's a little hard to see, when you actually do your first row, it will sort of disappear into the edge because you have already started your edging with that ribbing.